Yo, what's going on, everybody? Little Scapula back again for a daily review. Really good Monday. Really good start to the week. Shit is crazy right now, man. Definitely have a lot to talk about. I took a lot of notes. A lot of crazy moves today. I looked at the SPY this morning and it opened even lower, so recession type shit, whatever. Who really cares for us? But I didn't expect to have small caps moving the way they were today. And the momentum we have today is just crazy. It's just crazy that we can have such insane momentum while the rest of the market is just selling all their retirement accounts and whatever is going on. But anyways, we stay in our lane. And yeah, let's just get right to it. This morning I started on CHSN, which I took some notes on this one. Pretty unnecessary. I started to read on the day from this name, and looking back, it was really early. I even told myself I probably should wait till 7 a.m. just to gauge how the morning was going to go. Didn't take a crazy loss on this or anything like that. I tried it out, didn't work. Let's see. But yeah, the reason I traded is because it was breaking over this it's high from 4 a.m. So I was interested in that. You know, it makes sense. It's breaking over this pre-market pivot. I was looking for that first pullback. I believe I waited for this support to settle in right here. I think I took an entry right here. I wasn't looking for much, just maybe, you know, first 5-minute candle to make a new high. It just didn't work out. That's fine. Tomorrow I'll be a little bit more patient and probably wait closer to 7 a.m. But yeah, that was CHSN. Started the day right on that, and then man, BJDX gave me the best play I've had in a long time. Just by the setup, I mean, this was just, it was picture perfect. Let's see. This was going into setup. Okay, this was too early. This one was going into 7 a.m. and I like that because, you know, most of the time we're looking at things that are getting volume at 7 a.m. and making moves after that. But this one actually made a move going into 7 a.m. and that can work too because if you have a setup getting closer to that time and then when the volume does start coming in, you know, as you can see, this thing made a massive move. But I nailed this first 5-minute setup right here. I'm telling you, this is the sauce, man. Look at this pre-market pivot. Same shit I'm always looking for, man. Once it broke above this, I was really interested because I seen the volume spike right here. And I marked that pivot. I'm like, you know what, I'm going to use this as my reference. As soon as we got this first dip right here, I snagged an entry. I did not hesitate. And I was kind of looking for new highs on this one, especially after Rev B last week and the moves that I was making. I wasn't looking for anything crazy, but you know, I was looking for a push to the top of the flagpole. And you see, it tried to make that first pop here, pulled back. I added more. No, I'm sorry. I took my initial entry here. It made a pop. I believe I sold half at 7 right here, looking for that push to 720 new highs. It pulled back. It still looked really good, so I added more here. And then we finally got that breakout. I sold my position at the top of this flagpole. And this thing made a massive move, man. Like, and you know, we got to take that into consideration. Sometimes these plays, you know, again, you might only get a tap of this flagpole right here, and it might fail if the market's not hot or if there's just not enough volume. So again, I've trained myself to take these basics, be happy with the basics, and when I start to see breakouts like this, okay, going into tomorrow, maybe I can expect to get a little bit more after it if it sets up the same type of setup, if it's a similar price range or whatever. Then I could be like, okay, yesterday, you know, these flags were breaking out and making big moves and gave us a lot of range. Maybe I can expect a little bit more tomorrow. So, but again, I was happy with the basic to start the week off. And I was really happy to see this thing, I mean, make a crazy move. Let me look at my notes because I believe I did give back a little bit of profits trying this setup right here. I mean, this thing made a massive bull run. This was very hard to trade. Any like a pullback right here, but this did give a nice flag here. Again, this one's a little tougher because, you know, I want to see it kind of come back to the, and maybe try to test this pivot right here, but it made a nice 1-minute flag right here, broke out, and just made this huge run. So I knew that when we were pulling back here that it was going to be a longer, more drawn out pullback. And I think I took a trade like right in here. You can see that it tried to make this push at 10s right here. So a pullback, finally tapped the 1 minute A right here. I'm sorry, the 5 minute A right here. And that's what I used as my risk off. I believe I took an entry right here. I wanted to see this thing push 10s again, break above the 10s, and then start to push for new highs. Unfortunately, it came back down to my entry. I took a little cut on that one. Gave back some profits. I probably could have avoided taking that trade. I was kind of talking to myself like, yeah, this isn't the best setup. Maybe not worth, you know. I locked in on the first 5 minute pullback. I nailed that. Maybe, you know, this is getting extended. I could have waited. So just something to take into consideration tomorrow. Let's see what time we're at. 5 minutes. Okay. That was BJDX. I did take another trade on this at open. We'll go over that in a minute. I'm trying to run over here. Then we had SUNE. Very familiar with this name. And it did make a move going into 8 a.m. Let me see, actually. Yeah, okay, so we got a nice pivot right here, right? Same thing. 4 a.m. pivot. Broke above it on high volume, so I was very interested in that first 5 minute pullback. In hindsight, I did get chopped up on this a little bit. I think I took a premature entry. I don't think I was as focused on this pivot as I should have been because it held it pretty nicely. Not saying I took an impatient entry, but this one was definitely a little trickier, especially going into 8 a.m. I think I took some right here, and then I ended up stopping out on it just to re-add again. And I was feeling a little bit emotional trading this one, especially since we had BJDX, like, you know, is that one going to take the attention or the volume? That was definitely there. But in hindsight, this thing set up a beautiful 5 minute flag right off this pre-market pivot. It was a good play. I did take another entry and got like a scalp on it in this area. So I didn't play this one perfect, but I did get a little bit of profits from SUNE. Let's see. But yeah, in hindsight, I probably should have been more patient to look for this pivot because these were good entries. And I mean, it did make a move. Look at this. It made a huge move. If I would have been more patient and added a little bit lower, I think I had like 39s. I didn't have a great average, maybe 37s or something. Not terrible. I just didn't play perfect, and I didn't feel 100% comfortable in this because it did pull back a little bit more, and you know, it's all good. It was a little choppy, but it did end up breaking out and making a huge move. Man, I might have even traded in here, but anyways, let's see what else we got. Okay, this was probably the most frustrated I've been in a long time, man. We had J and VR that came out of nowhere and just made a massive move going into 9 a.m. And I even said it. I said, this reminds me a lot of Red B on Friday. It did the exact same thing, pretty identical setup. Tons of volume came in. This thing had crazy range. It's the same half a mil float that AREB was on Friday, and I'm like, I'm expecting this to make another 5 minute pullback in rip going into open, just like AREB did, and it did exactly that. Unfortunately, I got chopped out of this one, and I'm very frustrated because this thing gave such a beautiful move, and you know, I really want to just think of like, you know, why I ended up taking a cut here. I mean, so I did have this pivot marked about 880s. And another thing that this thing was pretty spready, so it was a little tricky. It was a little tricky to get ads on. I mean, if I put a bid out, it might be like, you know, 20 cents less than the current price, and like it was a little tricky. So, but look at this. This is a beautiful 5 minute pullback. I did not grab this dip right here because it was still a little bit extended off the 1 minute 20, so I wanted to give it some more time. Okay, so it put in this dip at 880s. Tried a little bit to go here, pulled back again. I think I got filled right here on this dip at 9, maybe something around $9. And my idea was when I wanted to see this pivot hold. I wanted to see 880s hold. It's the pivot on the 5 minute right here. And it dipped down, and I cut it, man. I don't know, like I just felt like in the moment it looked like it was breaking down and it wasn't holding, but I mean, guys, it got ball right up, and then it just made a crazy move, and it left without me. I think I just didn't really pay attention to the range on it, because yes, I got a $9 entry, and yes, we dipped to 850 here, and I'm down 50 cents a share, but the range to the upside was over $2. I mean, almost 2 points. So I was risking 50 cents right here to make $2 a share plus more, because this thing just ripped all the way up to like 15, 16 bucks. And I mean, look at this. The price action was amazing. Everything about this was perfect. I don't know. I stopped out here. I mean, I can't be terribly mad, because, you know, I set a rule for myself. I said if it cuts this 880s and it's not holding, then I'm going to cut it. In hindsight, I probably could have gave this one a little bit more time, because of the range on it, because AREB did the same thing on Friday, and, you know, it just made sense. This play made sense, and unfortunately, I missed it all. And that's okay. I was definitely frustrated, and then once this thing went into open, I mean, it was pretty much untradeable all day, and now it's, you know, making crazy moves, but what are you going to do, man? You can't hit them all. That's definitely one that I normally do hit, and just to see the range that it gave you, man, that would have been a crazy win. That would have been a really good win. Definitely one that I'm going to study, because I should have been there. Yeah, I cut my loss. I took a small loss on it, but man, that thing left me behind. That's okay. Moving on. Yeah, I wanted to look for something that open. I was chilling, you know, sitting at my daily goal going into open, so I didn't want to get too aggressive. It was tough because JNVR was, again, it was untradeable. Couldn't really do anything. It was getting higher priced. SUNE was making a move. Didn't really love that too much. BJDX. Let's see. So I was interested here because this one tried to break down and failed. They came back up, set up a 5-minute flag right here. I believe I had some, and then I got stopped out. But I was interested when this dip got bought up, and then it went into a halt right here. So when it went into this halt, and then it started pulling back right here, I was interested in this 5-minute pullback, because I'm like, okay, it just halted up. Maybe it's holding up, and people are going to want to hop on this train, and then break these $10 wicks right here. But dude, this thing got super choppy, and it was really hard to trade. The spreads were all over the place. I did get an entry off the 1-minute 20 right here. I had 930s. It pushed and then put in a kill candle, and then came back up. I think I got out of like, I sold on this candle like right here, and I got market filled at like 970. I was looking for that explosive break, because there was a lot of resistance at 10s right here, and I was expecting like a huge push, maybe even going into a halt over 1020s right here, but I got filled at like 970 from 930, so it ended up being just a base hit, and that's fine. But I only have 2 minutes left, and I want to go over one more thing, man. Mikey called out the craziest play I've seen in a long time, man. I mean, this thing did pop earlier. Mikey was freaking soaking this and ended up making like 100% return crazy. But I felt like I had the chance to get a piece of this pie, and I did on this first 5-minute pullback right here. You see it halted right here. Not really much opportunity to get in right here, but once it set up this 5-minute play right here. Let me see where I grabbed this one. I got that first 5-minute 8 tap, so I had about 95s right here. It tried to make a push, came back down, but I could see on the level 2 that bidders were coming in and holding up 92s. So I'm like, okay, I have 95s. If it breaks 92s, I'll just cut it. But it didn't. Held 92s, and then it made this nice move. I sold into here. I wasn't expecting much. This thing went up 500%. So I made about 10 cents a share, but that was good. That was a good win. And I'm sitting pretty comfortable. Almost double my daily goal. Cannot complain. It's a Monday. Yeah, and that's about it. I'm expecting a pretty hot week. Things are going crazy right now, so we'll see what we get tomorrow. But I have a nice cushion going into the week, so I'm going to try and stay disciplined and not get left behind on A+ setups. All right, y'all. See you. Peace.